the demand was pretty evident. People wanted bigger and bigger tables. Welcome back to the Devonshire. Last time we showed you around the pub and the kitchen. Today we're going to show you something new. At the Devonshire, we have a separate entrance from Sherwood Street, Devonshire private dining room. So you come into a lovely room, and there's a one-way mirror that you can see into the pub. So once people arrive, we've got a lovely little hatch into the pub. You get the most incredible noise and energy from where all the pints of Guinness come through. Cheers.
Cheers.
Follow me. Wonderwalk by Oasis, and a guy just having the best time on his own here from Dublin. So this is the blue room. We could take about 60 covers in here in one go, but then we actually have a solid wall that comes down, so we could split it into a 35-25. When we split the rooms, they become the Winehouse and the Lennon. Both rooms have a full PA setup. You could literally play a gig in here, no problem. I'll show you. So these are our little caviar buns, something to start private dining with. We'd normally have our restaurant bread. We just make smaller ones of those, put them into the same tin. Okay, and then we're just gonna literally just cut the very top. Open a little bit. Really nice little bit of creme fraiche in there. Nice big thing of caviar. So this is just the first little bite that you'll get when you sit down at the table. First course, caviar bun. One bite, delicious. Okay, on the last video I showed you the meat aging room. We're back in here again. We need some brilliant beef for our steak tartare. So these are wing ends of the loin. So we've got some really nice marbled sirloin in here, nicely dry aged, about 7-8 weeks on this. We're going to take this upstairs. So we've got our dry aged beef here, got the sirloin end of the loin. The flavour in this beef, having spent 7-8 weeks in that fridge downstairs, is incredible. What we need to do is we need to put this in the oven first. 100 degrees, 100% steam for 2 minutes. And what that's going to do is going to kill all the bacteria on the outside. So 2 minutes of full steam. You can see we just killed everything on the outside here. We're then going to chill it down. So now we've got our steamed beef, it's ready to eat. We're going to take away all the outside and discard that. And what we're left with is the pure meat inside. Take a thin layer off the outside that's just been cooked. So you're going to cut this down the middle. And then we just need to take out any really hard bits of fat here. So now we've got our meat. We're going to hand cut this as thin as possible. Beautiful. We're going to serve our beef tartare with some beef fat toast. So we're just going to take some white sliced bread. This is beef fat that's been rendered down, mixed 50-50 with salted butter. Nice and generous. Turn it over. And we try and use as much as everything as possible, but you've got all that amazing flavour in the fat. This is the same butter mix that we brush onto the steaks when they're cooked. Place another tray on top, and it goes into the oven at 160 for 26 minutes. So we're taking our beef fat toast out, nicely toasted, just going to trim up the end. So now we're going to make the emulsion sauce for our steak tartare. We've got egg yolks, aged malt vinegar, salt, sugar, white soy, anchovies, Henderson's relish, Dijon mustard, lemon juice, Tabasco, gherkin brine, and olive oil. We're basically just going to add it all in, blend it all together. So I'm just going to add the olive oil in slowly, just to make a light, uncooked emulsion. Then we're going to cook it over a bain-marie, 65 degrees. The reason we're doing this is so that this sauce doesn't just sink through the beef when I add it into the tartare, and it lightly coats it. I want it to get to 65. I'm going to take it off about 62 because it will carry on cooking. I like that softly cooked flavour in with the tartare as well. See how it's just thickened up a little bit? Very, very lightly cooked. Now we're going to pop that into here. Chill that down. Really nice and creamy. I want 25 grams of sauce to 120 beef. When it goes to the table, all the front of house has got to do is mix it. Okay, so we're in the Bowie room, one of the private dining rooms here. So once the first flurry of starters are down on the table, Chloe will arrive.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm the head of private dining here at the Devonshire, and today I'll be making our beef tartare. We will start off by coating the bowl in our tartare sauce. We will then go in with our capers and the cornichons, followed by the shallots. Give it all a nice mix. And going in with our hand-cut sirloin. We're going in with our lovely greens. We've got chevre, parsley, and chives. And we'll just give that a light mix now before going in with our pepper. Last little light mix. And we're now placing the tartare onto the bowl, being careful not to dampen it down too much. This is our sharing portion, so we usually have this for around 4 people. Now we are going to place out our lovely beef fat toast.
Okay, so what you see here with the tartare is it's all nicely coated because we cooked that egg sauce with all of those condiments in there and the seasoning. It's just clinged to each piece of beef, and it's just, you don't get this liquid out the bottom, which I really like. And ultimately, all these seasonings just support that incredible aged beef flavour. It's very nice. I love that. You can taste the beef, you know, and that's the important part. You know, we go to all of the trouble and effort and work that George and Stan put in the butchery, looking after that beef. So we've recently created and opened these private dining rooms here. The demand was pretty evident that our sort of feasting style menus for bigger parties were really well received, and people wanted bigger and bigger tables. What was really important with the private dining spaces was making sure that it feels really connected to what the Devonshire is about. That sort of bustle and chaos of a pub, and not to lose that. So the next dish is Crepe Suzette, and the way that we've done it here is that we can serve this for up to 60 people without it taking a day to do. And we're just going to make some lovely thin crepes, 1 ladle. It's just a simple crepes, eggs, sugar, milk, flour, and a little bit of brown butter. When this crepe comes off, I've made the caramel base that we're going to use at the table. So a simple caramel, sugar, butter, reduced orange juice, a little bit of lemon juice, and then the secret ingredient is a spirit that I make as part of my spirits company, which is called Forgotten. And we make a triple sec, but then we supercharge that with alcohol, so it's 57%. So that really forms the structure to our caramel. We're going to pop our crepe out. We will then take this caramel, brush it on. I'm going to fold it once, and fold it twice. We're brushing the inside of the pancake so that you've got caramel inside, and this means that we've just got to warm it up and then flame the alcohol with the zest at the table. And this is a good way to make sure the dish is perfect, but also doesn't take too long. Okay, so for the Crepe Suzette, we built this trolley. This will come into the dining room. We've got our crepes with the caramel already brushed on the inside. Got a little bit of candied orange zest. And then our caramel that we've made already is in here. And then this is our alcohol. So this is a navy strength orange liqueur with notes of cognac and brandy in, all in one liquid, 57.7% in proof. And that's going to be our flames and finish off the flavour of the Crepe Suzette. So Chloe's going to start now.
I'm just going to coat the bottom of the pan in the lovely caramel. The crepes in, start them. Just coat the crepe.
Navy strength, so during the development of the liquid, each time I changed the liquid, I would then have to make Crepe Suzette at home to see how it came out in the caramel. So this really is a bespoke liquid that we make at Forgotten for this very thing. It's not to be really drunk on its own, although you could do.
Let's try. We are now just popping a little candy peel over. Make sure it's lovely and warm. So now we are pouring in our lovely high proof. This is just for the big flambe. Oh. And we kind of pat that out a bit. Make sure none of the peel is burning.
So then to serve, it's a bit of a two-person job this. Only 1, 2, 3. So to serve it, we pour over some of this lovely caramel with that orange liqueur and candied peel. Crepes are lovely and soft. We start the table with the first 4 from the pan. The rest will come from the kitchen, and the last 4 will be the second batch from the pan. So this dish is called Truffled Eggs, and it's a slow cooked egg with a softly cooked egg and truffle emulsion, and served with white truffle. So the first bit, we've got some Iberico trimmings from our homemade bacon downstairs in the butchery. Just going to lightly colour these, and then we're going to add the cream, and then finally grate the Parmesan in, and literally emulsify the two together by melting the cheese. We'd probably do at least 200-300 eggs a week, I would say. So I'm just going to pop these eggs in 4 minutes at 90 degrees, 100% steam. We're just going to pop these into ice water now. Now we're going to slow cook these Clarence Court eggs, and these are going to go in the steamer at 62 degrees for an hour and a half, 100% steam. So now we're going to make the soft cooked egg emulsion. We're going to scoop out the inside of our 3 eggs into the Thermomix, add salt, sugar, a little bit of Chardonnay vinegar, and then this really nice mushroom juice. And when this is made from Paris brown mushrooms that have been blitzed, a little bit of salt and then hung, and then we reduce that juice with crushed shiitake mushrooms. So you get this really amazing, intense mushroom juice. It's going to form that sort of structure of our sauce. Into that goes a little bit of neutral oil, a little bit of mayonnaise, and our Parmesan cream that we've already made that's cooling down in the fridge. So these are our slow cooked eggs. They've been in the steamer for an hour and a half. They've been iced down, and now we're going to crack these, and these are going to go back into the steamer for 5 minutes. So now we're going to start the plating with these croutons that have been fried in a little bit of Iberico pork fat. A few of those in the bottom. Carefully take an egg, slow cooked egg on top. Our egg emulsion, really nice and silky, just warmed very gently. Cover the egg in this. A few more croutons on top, just for texture. A bit of salt, some pepper. And then at the moment, we're using white truffle. We're generous. And that's it. This is our truffled eggs with a soft cooked egg emulsion and white truffle. We have literally used every ounce of space. I mean, if we can find some more, it'd be brilliant. It's more about improving, inspiring the team to come in every day and deliver an experience that lives up to people's expectations and, you know, surpasses them in most cases. We've got a long way to go, and, you know, who knows? We never say never. You never know what's around the corner.